Mark, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great, Mike. How are you?
Good, thanks. How you feeling?
I'm getting there. Feeling pretty good, and no complaints so far.
Well, last night that had to feel good, Mark. When you're around first base, saw that laser go into the seats. Had to be a pretty good feeling, huh?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, really for the team more than anything. I mean, I know eventually I'm going to get going. It may take a few games and hopefully not more than a few weeks to get into my stride. But for the team, we really needed that 4th spot real quick, and ended up being a big homer for us.
Does it feel weird coming back to this team, the way this team looks, and so many of the big guys not here, no Jeter, no A-Rod, no Granderson. Now you're back. I mean, does this feel weird coming back to this team, rather than coming back to what the normal team has been?
Not really, because I was around a lot. I was in Tampa the last 3 weeks, but for most of spring training and for the first part of the year, for the first month of the year, I was with the team every day, at home and on the road. So I've gotten a chance to know the new guys and see the team play a lot. And the dynamic has changed a little bit. Not seeing Derek and Alex across the diamond's a little tough, but at the same time, I've been around the guys for a while.
How about you? Do you have to make any concessions at all to this injury? Be careful about anything, or are you going about business as usual?
I can't swing as much. I have to be a little bit more, careful about how many swings I take, the intensity. I might have a day off here and there. I've always been someone that doesn't take many days off, but Joe has made it very clear to me that he's looking long-term here, and for the next 4 months and hopefully 5, including the postseason, he wants me healthy. So he's going to give me a few days here and there just to rest it and make sure that I'm not overloading that wrist.
Is it any more susceptible when it's top hand or bottom hand?
Bottom hand. I mean, it's left-handed is how I heard it, right. And so left-handed, that bottom hand is really violent going through the zone there. And last night there were no problems. That home run felt good, but every now and then you swing and miss, or you have a check swing, and it tells you, hey, just be a little careful with it. That you're taking care of things.
You've always been a slow starter, but it's going to be interesting. You haven't usually come back in this kind of weather. It'll be interesting to see if it takes you your normal time to get your rhythm, because maybe part of that is the weather.
That is interesting. It's kind of a test case. If you could take out all the different denominators and figure out, is it you're a switch hitter? Is it timing? Is it weather? It's probably a little bit of everything. But for me, like I said, hopefully it doesn't take me too long to get back into the swing of things. And I'm not expecting to be a 400 hitter and hitting home runs every single day from the beginning. But in the next few weeks, I really want to make sure my timing is right, and my swing's right, and I'm really getting on a roll.
Talking with Mark Teixeira, who last night had a big grand slammer as the Yankees beat the Indians 7-4 last night, as Mark hit a bullet into the lower deck and right to get things started off Masterson and get the Yankees out to a lead 4-1. Mark, considering it is early for you in the season, and you didn't have a chance to have a regular campaign this year, knowing that you do have to go a little lighter, is there anything that you can do differently, anything that you try to do to maybe go about things a little differently, since you can't spend as much time in the cage as you'd like?
Well, I mean, I think maybe I didn't need to spend so much time in the cage. I mean, there's obviously there's amount of work that you need to put in to make sure your craft is honed, but eventually you get diminishing returns.
Right.
And I think my wrist injury was, every doctor I talked to said it was an overuse injury, and maybe I've been swinging too much just overall the last few years, and I don't think taking a few less swings a day, I don't think it should hurt me too much.
Interesting. That is interesting. Do you feel, because you're the team had slumped, and you are such a big part of this offense, being thrust into the middle of it, there's a lot of pressure on you right from the start. I mean, people want to say, hey, we need Mark to get going right away. Do you feel that a little bit?
There's always pressure. I mean, anytime you're playing on the Yankees and you're playing in a pennant race, I mean, you go 0 for 3 in your first spring training game, and you have to answer 10 questions about why you had a bad game. So that's just part of it. And professionals get through it. You know, guys that have been around the game a long time, like me and Derek and Alex and you know, our whole team pretty much. You know, we understand that that's part of it, but you know, I want to win as badly as anybody, and I'm going to put that pressure on myself. And you know, hopefully it makes me a little bit sharper and play a little bit better, because that's what I've done my whole career.